Hello, everyone. This is your host, Debra Poneman, and I'd like to welcome you to our call with today's guest, Michelle Manning Kogler. Unwilling to succumb to a devastating diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis, Michelle began her search to heal her body, mind, and spirit. Her research, personal experiences, education, and adventures into healing ultimately led to the creation of the quantum soul clearing process. Michelle has been in the energy medicine and the alternative healing field for over 25 years. She's a best-selling author and has contributed to books with other well-known authors such as Jack Canfield, Marci, Shimoff, and Deepak Chopra. Her approach to healing is multi-faceted and holistic, integrating mind, body, and spirit for optimal wellness. Her practice, Infinite Potentials, Health, and Wellness, serves people throughout the world. Her innate, unique, intuitive, and psychic abilities, in combination with her education and training, allow her to deeply explore and understand her clients' individual challenges. She facilitates her clients as they focus on strengthening the emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, and financial aspects of their lives in order to create greater wealth, increase self-confidence, and empowerment, peace of mind, and healthy relationships with themselves and others. And today you're going to discover how to recognize your glass ceiling of subconscious beliefs and shatter it forever in, get ready for this, under 15 minutes. Also, how your limiting beliefs and subconscious programming are sabotaging you in the workplace and limiting your earning potential, often by millions of dollars. Also, how your underlying fears of being seen and heard keep you playing small. How to connect with your infinite wisdom and harness the power of the universe to easily magnetize your goals. And also, we're going to experience a very simple alignment and reconnecting technique that will immediately increase your energy, your mental clarity, and your connection with your intuition. Wow, this sounds spectacular. Michelle, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Debra. I am so honored to be on your show. Thank you.
Well, I am so honored to have you on my show. You know how long I've been wanting this, so I'm like, a kid in the candy shop right now.
So am I.
So, what I would love for you to do is just take a few minutes and share a little bit more about your journey. I know that you have psychic abilities, intuitive abilities. I'd love to know if you were born with them. Tell us about your journey and how you decided to use these abilities for the benefit of the rest of us.
I was born with them, and thank you for asking. So I was born and raised in Utah in, late 50s, early 60s, and needless to say, those psychic abilities were not really appreciated, especially as a small child. People get really upset when you answer their thoughts, and they haven't said anything. So I learned at a really early age that it was not appropriate to bring these gifts out and to use them, and I ended up really hiding them and shutting down. What I know now is that I ended up shutting down my life force, because when you shut off part of who you are, it literally shuts down your life force. And so by the time I was in my mid-20s, I had developed an autoimmune disease. And at the time, my children were very young. They were 4 and 7 years old. And the first doctor that I went to said, okay, get your affairs in order, because in 6 months you're going to be in a wheelchair, and in a year you're going to be in a rest home. I thought, no, that's not going to happen. I have 2 children to raise, and that's just no. And I just refused to accept it. And so I really started looking into, I went along with the medical program because that's all I knew. I mean, that was what I had been trained to look at all of my life. And what I found was that Western medical wasn't cutting it for me. It wasn't dealing with the root issues, and there were many of them. And so I went on a search for what would help me heal my mind, my body, and my soul. And, for me, it was so many different things that were playing into this whole diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis. And so it was a belief system, at the core, ultimately at the core, was this belief system that I wasn't good enough and that there was something fundamentally wrong with me. And what I ended up finding out was that in order to completely heal and to bring myself back to a state of health and wellness, I had to reconnect with those gifts, which was really scary because they'd been put away for years. But in reclaiming my intuitive gifts and abilities, I was able to listen to my feelings. I could no longer shut down the feelings that were contributing to, this underlying disease. And, what we're finding out now is how our thoughts and our feelings really impact how our cells replicate. The science is called epigenetics. And so reconnecting with who I was and reclaiming who I was absolutely critical to my ultimate healing. Now, everything that I learned over the years ultimately came together in this quantum soul clearing process. And what I'd like to do is talk about that a little bit more. Should we go from there?
Yes, please, because I know that the quantum soul clearing process has helped so many people around the world, but I would love to know how it helped you personally.
What the quantum soul clearing process ultimately did was allow me, and it allows others, to simply acknowledge the feelings, to simply acknowledge the energy that is playing, that's undermining our health, our well-being, our finances, and our relationships. And as we acknowledge those feelings and ultimately feel them and ultimately get into them, then you also have a tool to change the energy of those feelings that are creating such havoc in our lives. So most people continue to shut down and stuff feelings. We've never been taught in this society how to really work with our feelings. We don't recognize that the feelings are the language of the soul. It's how our soul actually speaks to us. It's how God or the universe or, whatever your belief system is, that greater being is communicating with us. And then we think, well, God's telling me through this language that I feel crappy. Well, no. What it is if you feel uncomfortable, if you're feeling something negative, that's the soul's way of saying, you're out of alignment. You're off track. If you're feeling shame or distress or disappointment, whatever that feeling is, and there are thousands of names for negative feelings, whatever it is that you're feeling is the soul's way of saying that's not the truth. Because we are these unlimited, powerful, joyful, aligned, spiritual beings living in these physical bodies. And the way that we speak with spirit and the way that spirit speaks with us is through these feelings, and it's through this language of feelings. So if you are feeling joyful, you can feel how effervescent your body feels. When you feel empowered, you feel strong and you feel able to take command of your life. And when you're feeling something less than that, that's just the soul saying, that's not who you are. It's time to look at the underlying emotion and the underlying belief systems that are causing you to feel out of balance, that are causing you to believe something that is not the truth about who you are. Does that make sense?
Yes, it absolutely makes sense. And then what do we do with it? I mean, so if we feel shame or we feel guilt or we feel any of, as you said, there's thousands of those feelings. So we know that that's not who we are, but what if it feels like it is who we are?
Well, and it does feel like that's who we are. Many of us walk around feeling like there's just something so fundamentally wrong with me, that no matter what I do, I'm not good enough. There are thousands of messages that we've picked up and that have been transferred down the generations to us, and that we're picking up from society and our friends and our families and the media. And I mean, we're swimming in this sea of energy that is really not very supportive of us. And then so our job is to find who we are in this and to find out and to dig down inside to reclaim who we really are. So I love this question, what do I do if I don't feel this? And that's where the quantum soul clearing process comes in. And the process itself is actually 3 steps. It's connecting into spirit, and I call that connection divine core center. It's actually a physical place in your body. It's in the solar plexus, in the belly area. And a lot of people connect into the heart. But when you are standing, let's say you're doing yoga or you're standing straight and tall, and I ask you to find the absolute center and the absolute core of your being, it's a little bit lower than that. And the place that we feel our feelings is usually in that gut area, in that solar plexus or in that belly area. So the first step is connecting into that soul area. And as we connect and anchor in and align with those feelings, and it's aligning with those feelings whether they're positive or negative, it's just allowing the energy and allowing what it is there without any judgment whatsoever. So that's the first step, is connecting into that power center, because that literally is plugging us into the power of the universe. It's plugging you in to the source of all power and all transformation and all change. The second step in the quantum soul clearing process is an encoded set of statements, and I talk about this in my book, and I teach about it. But it's like reprogramming your personal computer. The statements themselves take the energy of that negative feeling and erase it. It takes that energy and it takes out the components that are no longer working. And then the third step is replacing that old programming, that defective programming, with new programming. And what it is that you do want to feel, what it is that you want to experience, the alignment and the abundance and the achievement, the blessings and the bliss that you want to experience instead. And as you're still in that space of being plugged into the universe, you're allowing the soul to completely and fully infuse the body and also to access all lifetimes and existences where these feelings and these frequencies may be being harbored or may not have yet been released and resolved, and may also be impacting this lifetime, and to resolve it. So it's really not just something in this lifetime. It's actually a multidimensional spiritual technology that is so all-encompassing, and it combines spirit and science and practicality and our genetic materials, the way we're made up, and it's just kind of all rolled into one. And later in the show, I will actually demonstrate the process itself so that we can do a clearing.
Oh, that will be spectacular. And I understand. I mean, one of the things that I said at the beginning is that you're going to talk about how we shatter the glass ceiling of personal limitations. So what you're saying is that we all have personal limitations, not only from this lifetime, but from other lifetimes that are affecting us in this lifetime. And this, in what you teach, these 3 steps can actually kind of obliterate those limitations, even from things that have carried over from lifetimes.
Absolutely. It's actually eliminating the karmic resonance of old programming from other lifetimes and existences as well.
Ooh, I love that, eliminating the karmic resonance. Because, sometimes we have these limitations and we think, why would it be? I mean, this is a silly one, but my son, who's now 22, is petrified of fish. When he was little, he wouldn't even sleep at a friend's house if his friend had a goldfish in a bowl.
Wow.
And to this day, he won't do things like at the ocean. And I think, okay, that cannot be from this lifetime. I mean, it's not like I, dumped fish on him when he was a little kid or something.
Well, you know what? I can actually appreciate your son's experience, because I remember being really young, about probably 3 years old, and we were living in Los Angeles, and there'd been a big storm, and all these kelp beds got pushed up onto the beach, and my mom had taken us down to the beach. And I remember, like it happened yesterday, seeing these kelp beds and simultaneously feeling myself and seeing myself as a young woman being completely enwrapped up in these beds of kelp under the ocean and drowning. And she's going, oh, this is really cool. And I'm thinking, get me away from those kelp beds. There is no way I'm getting near those. And she couldn't figure out my fear. And it wasn't until later that I realized what I was seeing was an old lifetime of drowning and being wrapped up in these old seaweeds. So all through and even now, if I'm water skiing, if I'm doing anything like that, it's like, you steer clear of that seaweed. It doesn't matter if it's fresh water or salt water, just stay away from that stuff.
Yeah. See, isn't that interesting? And I know that the glass ceiling of subconscious beliefs that you are going to help us shatter, but it cramps his style, I mean, it really does. Now he's a young man. We live on Lake Michigan. People go out boating, and he reluctantly, and it's so deep. But I would love to know how we could recognize our glass ceiling of subconscious belief and shatter it forever. You said we could do it in less than 15 minutes?
We can. We absolutely can. And the first step is recognizing the feeling. The result of our lifetimes, the result of the old programming is what's happening in our world. So if you have, for example, let's talk about the glass ceiling of money. And if you're struggling with money, if you have times of wealth and then you lose it all, if, whatever is showing up in your world is showing you what that programming is. And even deeper, what those feelings are that are associated with the money. So as you lose it, let's say that you've had a great deal of money, you've had a great deal of prosperity, and suddenly you find yourself losing it all. What are the feelings associated with that loss? What are the feelings and the imprints and the belief systems that are associated with whether you deserve to keep all that money and all of that wealth, and the victimization possibly from circumstances that made you lose all of that? And it's examining all of those energies, those beliefs, those feelings, and then using the quantum soul clearing process to simply erase and change the energetic charge so that you're once again manifesting. You're once again able to connect with who you are. And we are the ultimate creators. We are the ultimate manifestors of our experience. But we manifest from our feelings. We don't manifest necessarily from our thoughts, although our thoughts create the energy of the feelings. They're intricately tied. So whatever thought is happening that's creating a feeling can also be how you identify what your blocks are and what your old feelings, the feeling that needs to be removed to your prosperity and your abundance.
So just to give an example, let's say that somebody had a lot of money, and when they lost it all, they actually felt relief.
Yes. So in that particular instance, it would be that in some way that money was a burden, that in some way they were not aligned with the amount of money that they had. Let's say that the person just felt a sense of, oh, thank goodness, I don't have to be responsible for this. And in that way, the money is a weight. It's a belief system generally of this money has something else intrinsically tied to it. So perhaps that weight is one of deservability. Perhaps it's one that, money may be the root of all evil. Nobody wants to be evil, and so nobody wants to hold all of that potentially evil attracting substance around them, and so it's easier to just let it go. If we believe in some way that money is not spiritually evolved, we're going to give it away. We're going to find ways to get rid of it, And what's interesting is often when it goes away, then we feel victimized because somebody's either taken it from us or, the universe or circumstances have conspired against us. So there are multiple programs in that particular scenario that can be playing against each other. And that's, the vulnerability and the victimization of having lost something that actually had meaning, and yet the relief, on the other hand, oh, thank goodness it's gone. So it's identifying both of those and what's contributing to both of those feelings.
And with the quantum soul clearing process, once you identify the feeling around it that has led to the actions that have led to the circumstances, once you identify the feelings and you clear that level, then you can, again, it's like lifting that burden, and then you can continue your life in a more rational way and, again, attract money into your life.
Exactly. So once you've released the belief system or, the energetic charge that in some way money is inherently evil or inherently bad or whatever association you have around that large sum of money, then it opens a person up to being more accepting of having that greater flow of abundance. So there won't be the big swings in accepting and having more money in your life. There will be a greater flow. And I like the word affluence. We think of affluence in regards to the very wealthy, but affluence is a constant flow. It's an energetic flow, and it was actually created, the original meaning means an influx or an inflow, like from a body of water or, a stream into a body of water. And if you can think of money as this energetic flow in, and it's constantly moving in and out, and that there is a flow, a consistency to it, then it also begins to change your understanding of what money really is. And it's really an energy, and it's really based on how we feel about ourselves, what we believe about ourselves, our deservability, our worthiness, and our ability to maintain and to utilize this particular tool that we've all chosen to use on this planet.
Well, I'm looking forward to experience that alignment, because I know that you said you're going to share an alignment with us, and maybe, I don't know if we could do it now. I do have a lot more questions, but do you want to do that now or you want to do it later? You're the boss.
I think we should do it now. I love this idea. Let's just jump into the middle of it so that people can understand and really get a feeling, an embodied feeling for how this process works in their lives. Should we do that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the first thing I would like to share with people is an exercise that you can do any time of day, and it literally takes just 2 or 3 minutes. And it's a way to ground and create more energy in your life. So if you'll place your left hand on your solar plexus, that upper belly between the belly button and the ribs, the bottom of the ribs, that's your solar plexus. And place your right hand on the center of your chest, right there in the middle of the heart chakra. And take a deep breath in and just place the focus of your attention down into the belly, right where you're holding. And just notice what your feelings are. Just notice, no judgment. If you're feeling anxious, that's fine. If you're feeling peaceful, that's fine. If you're feeling grounded, even if you're feeling angry, just notice what's there and just let it be. And then I want you to visualize, feel, sense, experience, or visualize a figure 8 of brilliant gold and white light that begins to connect these two centers, the core, the divine core center, the solar plexus, and the heart. So the bottom of the figure 8 starts at the belly button, and it goes around, it crosses underneath the ribs, and the top of the figure 8 is at the collarbone. And I want you to picture this golden white light energy as it flows through this figure 8 faster and faster and faster. just like a car on a racetrack. And as this golden white light energy begins to move around this figure 8, right there where it crosses, you'll feel, experience, see, or visualize an explosion of light, brilliant white light. And from that center of that explosion of light, there's a vortex of energy that begins to move up through the center of your chest, through your neck, and out through the top of your head. And this vortex of energy is pulling energy up and out through the top of your head. And then it begins to cascade down and around you, all the way around you, with iridescent, beautiful light energy. And it culminates down underneath the bottoms of your feet. And there's an inverted vortex of energy that begins to pull upward from between your feet and up through the core, through the base chakra, through the center of your being, aligning the chakras. And the tail of that inverted vortex connects with the tail of the one coming out through the top of your head. And there's a column of light and energy that is created. There's a flow of energy that's coming up from the center, between the center of your feet, in this beautiful column of energy, up through the center of your being, out through the top of your head, and cascading down around you. If you were to look at yourself from the outside, you would look like an apple, and you are the core. And as this energy comes up through the center of you, out the top of your head, down and around you, there is a flow of energy. This shape is called a torus of energy. And it aligns and balances and stabilizes the chakra systems. It begins infusing every cell of every aspect of your body, mind, and soul with energy. As a matter of fact, each one of the cells of your body are infused with one of these little toruses of energy. So there are trillions and trillions of little toruses of energy that are constantly cleaning and balancing and infusing every cell of your body with this light and balance and love and presence. Just take a deep breath in and release. Doesn't that feel good, Debra?
It feels divine.
You can use this anytime throughout the day as an energetic pick-me-up. You can use it at any time to just feel centered and peaceful, and it's kind of like a little power infusion. It's one of my favorite activations that I do with people. And I always do this before we prep to work, before we get ready to do a clearing. And I have a connecting in, I call it a connecting in prayer, but it's a connecting in statement that no matter what your belief system is, you can align with mine or you can use your own. But I do a prep to work statement that sets a sacred space in which all of us can work. And so I'd like to do that now. Mother, Father, God, Goddess, Creator, and I are one, and Creator and everyone listening to this call are one. We work together as a unified, quantified, co-creative team. By the power, the authority, and divinity inherent within each of us, through our connections with and oneness as absolute, ultimate, infinite, radiant, golden, quantum source light, please prep to work, clear, create, manifest, and play. Prepare, place, establish, and strengthen quantum source light containment and protection fields within, on, around, and through each of us, each of our loved ones. Throughout our homes, our places of work, our businesses, schools, and daycares, any public transportations that we or our loved ones may take, throughout our vehicles, our finances and financial interests, our gifts, talents, and expressions, all things like that that we are creating in all times, places, and spaces at all levels, layers, and depths of each and all of our beings. And from within these containment and protection fields, let's clear all negative motivations, blocks, and interferences, all dark portals, toxic streams, decaying universes, all types of extra souls, entities, and attachments. Anything that is less than radiant golden quantum source light frequencies, Let's remove other people's thought forms, feelings, and beliefs that we may have picked up or that have been projected onto us. Let's clear and remove all universal and world energies that may be negatively impacting us, any broadcast energies, alien energies, again, anything less than radiant quantum source light frequencies. And anything that is no longer in our highest and best good, let's clear, transform, flash burn, purify, and sterilize back to the source and or sources, and then purify the source and or sources of these frequencies. We are ready to roll. So one of the things that many people struggle with is knowing what they're worth and asking for what they're worth. I would like to do a clearing today and some work today with the quantum soul clearing process around asking for and knowing what each one of us are worth. So I'm going to ask each one of our highest selves and all of the highest of the light level beings that work with humanity for our greatest good and our transformation to be with us, to help us seek and find, gather and bind all of the energies, all of the belief systems, all of the frequencies that are associated with and related to asking for and knowing what we're really worth. Any way that we don't believe that we're worth the money that we ask for, any way that we don't ask for what we want, what we need, any way that we are denying that we are fully abundant, joyful, prosperous, wealthy, affluent beings of light and human beings. Anything that we're going to ask, seek and find, gather and bind, all of the belief systems, the thoughts, the old programs that in some way we are less than, that we're not enough, we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, pretty enough, tall enough, fast enough, whatever. In some way we're not enough. Let's just seek and find, gather and bind all of that and everything that represents. And we're going to ask to have that put in its own little containment field so that it doesn't contaminate anything else. And then whenever we are running any of these energies, there's always some form of an agreement that we have had with these energies so that they have a home in us and that we have agreed to play out these energies in our field in some way. So we're going to break resonance. We're going to clear the vows that we've had with these energies and these frequencies. And we're going to ask all of these energies and frequencies to release their need to be within us. And I want you to feel as these energies begin to pull their way out of your tissues, out of your bodies, your minds, your souls, your entire beings. They're going to send those into the light for their next highest evolutionary phase. And we're going to release our need to have these frequencies, whether it's a way to motivate us or limit us, whether it's something we've just picked up from those around us, whether we're using them as a way to live up to or live down to somebody's expectations of us, whether it's a generational program, it doesn't matter. Just let it go. We're just going to put it down. And then we're going to break resonance with all of these frequencies. Feel as they simply shatter into trillions of little pieces and begin pouring out of us just like grains of sand out of an hourglass. From the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet, out the front and out the back and out the sides. It feels so good. And then we're going to break and clear the habit or addiction that we might have to all of these energies and frequencies. We're going to allow the cells of all of our lifetimes and existences, of all the bodies and all lifetimes and existences, to release in one great big huge collective cough all of these frequencies and then immediately change their receptor sites so that none of this energy can connect back in. There's no place, there's no home for it anywhere within any aspect of our beings. And then we're going to ask, please apply the highest, most powerful quantum source light clearing statements that will fully and completely clear and remove all of these energies and frequencies, everything that has been sought, found, gathered, and bound, all of the belief for not asking and not knowing what we're really worth and everything that represents throughout our bodies, our energy bodies, our souls, our entire beings, throughout all of our systems, throughout our egos and their systems, our mitochondria, all of their generations and all of their systems, throughout all of our generations and their systems, throughout our proteins, environments, associations, and entanglements, throughout our personal and the collective consciousness, subconsciousness, and unconsciousness, throughout our personal, planetary, and universal core operating systems, all systems within those systems, and all of our interfaces and connections to those systems, and how it's affecting us in any way, shape, or form, time, place, or space, at all levels, layers, and depths of each and all of our beings. And take a breath in and release. And as masters of our lives, and as masters and ultimate creators and co-creators of our experience, it's really important that we go through a forgiveness of ourselves and others if there's any energy at all left. So I'm going to say a forgiveness statement, and if you will allow these energies to flow through you as if you're saying them yourself, that would be great. I willingly forgive myself for any and all actual or perceived hurt or harm I may have caused myself or any others, or that any others have caused me or any others, with all of these energies and frequencies of the belief and inability to ask for and know what I'm really worth and everything that represents. I willingly love and forgive myself. I willingly love and forgive all others. All others willingly love and forgive me. I willingly love and forgive God's source. God's source willingly loves and forgives me. I willingly love and forgive my highest self. My highest self willingly loves and forgives me. I am absolutely, ultimately, infinitely, quantumly loved and forgiven. I now willingly release all of these energies and these frequencies, everything that's been sought, found, gathered, and bound, and everything that represents, and go in peace, love, joy, harmony, health, wealth, and abundance. Take a breath in and release. So, Debra, as a proxy for your entire listening audience, would you be willing to answer for them, please? Yes. Okay. So are you ready to release all of these energies and frequencies now?
Yes.
So repeat after me. Final clear all of these energies now.
Final clear all of these energies now.
Then clear, transform, flash burn, purify, and sterilize all of these energies and frequencies, everything that has been sought, found, gathered, and bound, and everything that represents. Purify them all back to the source and or sources, then purify source and or sources. And let's, yeah, you can feel that, can't you? And let's download knowing, believing, accepting, and asking for everything that we are worthy of. Let's download ultimate worthiness and deservability. Let's download abundance and appreciation, acceptance, achievement, appreciation for who we are, being seen, heard, appreciated, cherished, and valued for who we truly are. Let's download blessings and bliss and the bounty that is individually and uniquely ours through our birthright as these beautiful, empowered beings of light and love and joy. Let's download comfort and confidence, constructiveness, cooperation, creativity and co-creativity, awareness, courage and determination, endorsement, feeling and being energized, enhanced, the enjoyment of living in the alignment of who we really are, knowing that we are enough, that we have enough, and that there will always be enough for ourselves and everyone with whom we're in contact. Let's download gifts and fulfillment, genuineness and gentleness, goodness and grace and gratitude. Let's download the frequencies of being in harmonic resonance with everything that we desire, knowing that as we desire and connect in with those feelings, those honest feelings, that there is an impeccability and a divine intelligence and inspiration that is alive and well within each and every one of us, creating an explosion of joy, infinite kindness and laughter, life and love, creating miracles, extraordinary miracles and everyday miracles of prosperity, of abundance. There we go. The feelings of nirvana, magnificence, order and patience and peace, peace of mind, infinite opportunities for positive opportunities for possibilities and potentials, creating a connection with our unique soul purpose and the rapture of connecting in with who we are, opening the infinite ability to receive all of the good that life has to offer. Let's download the restoration of our true selves and the respect that we feel for ourselves and others, the self-love, the self-confidence, the self-empowerment, and the self-esteem that comes, and the self-love that comes with knowing who we are, our place and our purpose, and our divine soul mission for being on this planet. The infinite strength and success and supportiveness that we feel as we align with those frequencies. The feelings of transcendence and triumph, of feeling unconditional love, being surrounded and filled with understanding, being uplifted and upgraded, and that vibrant, radiant health and well-being to fulfill and carry out our divine purpose on this planet. Let's download any other quantum source light frequencies that may not have been said, but that are needed for each and every person listening to this call at all levels, layers, and depths of each and all of our beings. Feel as all of these new frequencies fill the cells, the molecules, the atoms, and the subatomic particles of our bodies, our minds, our souls, our entire beings throughout all lifetimes and existences. Feel as they infuse the bones, the tendons, muscles, and ligaments of our bodies and are flowing through our bloodstreams in radiant particles of light, emanating out as if we were giant lighthouses of immense billion-watt power, connecting with others throughout the world that are of the same frequency, other people, other circumstances, and events that are of the same frequency. So we are creating a new hologram, a new matrix, a new world experience as we rebuild this world. And then activate, synchronize, harmonize, and optimize all of these new frequencies and everything they represent. Please integrate and anchor them in at all levels, layers, and depths of each and all of our beings. Then please apply them all as functional skill sets. Take a breath in and release. How are you feeling, Debra?
Oh.
That was a loaded question, wasn't it?
Oh, I'm supposed to put this in words in my life. I'm telling you. Whoa. Okay, usually I'm not speechless. But first of all, at the beginning, you had me at the figure 8. So let's just, say the truth here. I was already gone with the figure 8. But something really powerful happened, and that was when we were releasing things. I had this, that thing that happens sometimes when you're like falling asleep and your whole body jerks?
Mm-hmm.
That when we were releasing, my whole body just did that thing, and I'm not going to sleep. I was not falling asleep. It wasn't that. It was just like some huge release. I don't know if anybody else had that experience, but that was one thing. And then as the last maybe 5 minutes of these openings, my body actually started vibrating. I mean, not just internally, but it was actually vibrating. It was moving, with the vibration. I'm like, okay, come on, I'm doing, because I am kind of the proxy for everybody. I thought, okay, I'm going to moon make this thing. I'm going to stop my body right now because this is ridiculous. I'm doing this myself. But no, it would have none of that.
No, as proxy, you get to do it for everybody too.
So my body, my legs are vibrating, my hands are vibrating, and my neck is vibrating. So everything's just like vibrating. It was amazing. That was amazing, amazing, amazing. I hope everybody had some wonderful experience. And even I'm sure if their body wasn't vibrating, they're probably thinking, I'm glad I'm not Debra and I don't have to talk because I could just remain in this unbelievable vibration. And it was beyond words.
So think about, for just a minute, think about feeling unworthy for just a minute. I just felt you bundle.
Yeah.
What is she talking about?
You said that and I tilted. I'm like, that's exactly, I thought, what is she talking about? It's like, and here's another thing that happened just now when you said that. First it was like, what are you talking about? And then I felt as if there's, how you talk about that glass ceiling? It was in the bullet points at the beginning where I said that you were going to talk about the glass ceiling of the subconscious beliefs. Yeah. I felt like I have almost a shield that wouldn't even let that thought come in.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And can you feel how much more expanded? It's like there's so much more room around you, an infinite space around you, as well as feeling like you're protected against the negativity.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. It's like it's infinite on one hand, and on the other hand, it's like any kind of thought. Now I can't even remember the word you used. Undeservability. What was it? I can't even remember.
Which is perfect because we don't even want to bring that frequency back in. But isn't it interesting how you can't even connect that concept, let alone the words?
I can't. I literally forgot the word. It was something about not being worthy or something, but I cannot even remember the word. And it was definitely my word. You hit the nail on the head.
And that's how you know that it's cleared. That's how you know the energy has changed, because you can't even remember what it was.
And listeners who I love and adore you, I am honest truth, I cannot remember the word. So may it be gone forever, whatever that word was, for all of us.
It's for all of us. I'm going to burn it, by the way, so it'll be really gone.
Thank you. And nobody needs to email it to me. I don't. No, Debra, here's what it was. Nope. Whew.
Can you imagine being able to use this tool yourself every single day, so that when you have a negative thought that comes up, you can literally, in that moment, switch it? How important would that be to you?
That would certainly change our lives forever.
We have the ability to change this world, to change who we are in such a record amount of time as we become aware of the negative feelings and beliefs that are bubbling up. And as we connect with who we are, they're coming up to be released. It's not that we're doing something wrong. There is nothing wrong with us. We're being shown where the old programming is standing between us and who we are meant to be. And this is a tool that is designed to help you and every listener, every person on this planet free themselves. It's not me being your guru. It's teaching you how to use this tool for yourself in any moment of every single day from here to the end of your lives and beyond, because it is literally changing the karmic resonant frequencies. It's literally taking you off of that karmic wheel and releasing you to the ultimate freedom and the ultimate empowerment that is rightfully yours as this divine, empowered, spiritual being of light, this warrior of light that every single one of us are.
And I know that you say that when we use this tool that it also increases our energy and our clarity and our intuition. And I get how that could be, because when you don't have the garbage standing in between you and your intuition, when you don't have it standing in between you and your mental clarity and unlimited energy, which is what we should have, then we have all of those things that are our birthright, but they just seem to be kind of out of our reach sometimes.
Exactly. And it's that invisible barrier that just, it's those limitations. It's that glass ceiling of limitations between us and who we know we can be and who we're meant to be. And that's why this quantum soul clearing process is so important and so powerful, because it just shatters those limitations. And whether it's money, self-esteem, relationships, self-love, whatever that is, this tool has the ability to change how you feel about any given circumstance.
Well, we want more of this. And I wish that we could go on forever. However, our time is ticking away here, and I know that there is so much more that we can. I mean, we want this every day, but we want it with all of those words that you said and all of that prayer. We want it that way. So,
lucky for you, luckily, it's all included in a program that I would like to tell you about.
Thank you. Please just click on the special offer button that's on this page. So, Michelle, can you let us know what we'll find there?
Yes. This is Clear Your Money Karma, Say Yes to Money Now. And this is a 21-day program that will help move the energy of some of the most deeply seated beliefs and karmic imprints that we have around our money. In this, we'll be clearing the vows that we've taken for poverty over lifetimes, because we've all taken them. As a matter of fact, every time you say, I would rather starve to death, I would rather do fill in the blank than work for that person, or do, whatever you're saying, that is a vow of poverty that you are taking. I would rather than That's a vow of poverty. So we need to watch our languaging in the future. We'll be releasing and clearing things like, and we're changing the energy from I don't deserve money to I deserve all the money I can receive. We're moving the energy from I can't afford it to wide open abundance. We're releasing the struggle of money into ease, flow, and grace. And there are 21 tracks in this, plus you also get the connecting in prayer, I call it the prep to work statement, the audio that you can use morning and evening. You can use it any time during the day that you want, that will help set a clear, clean, sacred space. If you're feeling off balance or, like you've just taken an energetic dive, plug in and listen to the prep to work program, because you've picked up energy from somewhere else. It will shift everything. If you use it in the morning, it sets the energy for the day. If you listen to it just before you go to bed at night, it changes the way that you sleep. You have a sacred, safe space in which to sleep and allow your body to relax and to rest and to regenerate. So you get that immediately. We're going to change the energy. So here's another piece of it. Our self-worth equals our net worth. So one of the things in this program that we're going to shift is no matter what I do, it's never good enough to no matter what I do, I excel at everything I do. We're going to release jealousy, taking jealousy to peace of mind and achievement. We're going to release the fear and the grief that may be associated with having lost money, having lost a job, having lost some aspect of ourselves in response to money. We're going to take anxiety and move it, shift it into serenity and peace. Sometimes we feel like we're being forced to work jobs that we hate. And so being forced to do something against my will, we're going to move into I am in charge of my destiny. This is a program for 21 days. Each day you will get a tip and an idea of how to use the audio program that is next on the list. And at the end of that 21 days, you'll also receive an explosion of joy transmission, which is a channeled transmission from the divine that is releasing all limitation and creating joy and full empowerment. I'm so excited about this program. It's one of the best things I have created. You also get, as a bonus with this program, you also receive 1 month in my monthly membership, which means that you get to talk to me live twice in that month to work with a group and get a live clearing, just like what we've done here. And you also get a meditation audio, which trains you and begins the attunement process to teach you how to work with your highest self, how to connect in with your higher level beings. And you also get a free chapter of my book.
Oh, is that all? I'm just teasing you.
I know. I was just going on and on and on.
Oh, this is so fantastic. So I just want to be clear because I'm getting this. So each one of these 21 days, like the first one is clearing vows of poverty, and then there is later on from I don't deserve money to I deserve all the money I can receive. We do one each day.
That is correct. So
I love it.
With this program, you also get a workbook and a journal. You get the workbook and journal before the very first day, and there are exercises in there to go through to help you identify and to define what it is that you want to create over the next 21 days. And then each day, you track your progress. You listen to the audio, and you write down what associated feelings and belief systems come up from that track so that you can clear your own stuff, your own energy. And with this package at the end of the workbook and journal, you have your own clearing statements, and you also have all of your own positive energy word statements. There's a whole matrix of words that you can use. This program has been so effective for thousands of people. It's normally a $497 program, and it is only $97.
Thank you. And I'm looking at the different days, and there's a lot on money, and then there's also from terror to feeling safe. Mm-hmm. That I know a lot of people will really need in their life because they have a lot of fear. And I also love from being forced to do something against my will to I'm in charge of my destiny. Every one of these, or from I'm a loser to I am always a winner, this is just speaking to so many of us. So, boy, you are just hitting the nail on the head in all aspects of our lives. This is gorgeous. All I can say is everybody really, really, really take advantage of this.
If you haven't done it yet, just click on the special offer button on this page to see for yourself what an amazing package this is. You will be so glad you did.
But obviously we're going to be clearing a lot more than just money karma. I just thought of something. Can you share with us, just in the few minutes we have left, a couple of the amazing turnarounds that you've seen from people who have applied what you teach?
Absolutely. There's so many of them. It's like, oh, that's really a good question. So one of the... there's several. One of my favorite ones, though, was a woman from South Africa who contacted me, and she said, after 3 months of looking and becoming quite frustrated at not finding a home within my limited price range and some really dodgy areas, she was actually able to find a home on the beach, safe, in a really lovely neighborhood for her children and her animals. And she did it after listening to the first audio track. Absolutely shifted everything. Another one is a woman who, after listening to the audio program, she said, after our first session, I booked 3 clients by the next day. So it shifts and changes so quickly. Getting rid of just one of these programs can make a profound difference. Can you imagine living in the energy of this for 21 days straight? What you can create in that period of time. And you don't have to stop with the 21 days. You can go back and listen to them over again and go even deeper into the process. find out what else comes up. It's like peeling away the onion. It's allowing you to go as deep and as broad and as wide and as empowered as you want to go.
Mm. Yummy. That's all I have to say. Well, beyond yummy. That's my first grade description of something that is like PhD in opening ourselves up to grace and flow and ease and the life that we all deserve to live. I am so excited about this. And one more time, everybody, it's livebigmedia.com/money karma. One word squished together, so no space between money and karma. And, well, all I could say is this has been so beyond extraordinary, and I just can't thank you enough for that process that you took us through. It was so profound. I think we're all just from our hearts just sending you love, and of course we want more. So thank you for putting together this amazing, amazing package. And before we say goodbye, are there any final thoughts that you'd like to share with us?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here again. It is such a joy to be working with you today. I just love you. I love your audience, and it's really been my privilege to be here. So that's first and foremost. But the last thing I want people to hear is how special they really are. We are in a space and in a new paradigm that has opened up, and we're swimming in new waters. You have the ability to be, and you are, the master creators of your lives. You have an ability to have a direct connection with Source and to be that Source being, that light warrior in your own life and in the world. This work will help support you as you move forward in your own personal work and in your own evolution. And I am grateful to be a part of your life. So thank you again for letting me be here. And I just send blessings to everyone who's been listening. Thank you.
And you are a blessing. So again, this has been beyond amazing. Thank you again and again. And thank you to everyone for spending this time with me and with Michelle Manning Kogler. And I look forward to when we are all together again. This is Debra Poneman. Have a wonderful rest of your day.